My name is Lena. I am 29 years old. I lived in a small town with my husband, Eric. We got married when I was 21. At first, I thought we were happy. Eric had a job in an office and I helped at my parents' small store. We did not have much money, but I didn't care. I thought love was more important. In the beginning, Eric was kind. He smiled at me. He brought me flowers. He helped me clean the kitchen. He talked to me about his day. I believed he loved me. I felt lucky. I felt safe with him. After a year, things began to change. Eric came home late. He said he was busy at work, but he never told me what he was doing. He stopped talking to me. He ate dinner in silence. He looked tired and bored. When I asked, "Are you okay?" He just said, "I'm fine. I tried to make things better. I cooked his favorite food. I cleaned the house every day. I smiled even when I was sad. I wanted him to love me again." But nothing changed. Soon he started to get angry. If I asked a question, he shouted. If I said the wrong word, he walked away. Sometimes he didn't come home at night. I stayed up waiting. I looked at the door for hours, felt lonely. One day I found a message on his phone. It was from another woman. She wrote, "I miss you already." I felt cold. My hands were shaking. I could not believe what I saw. When I showed Eric, he took the phone and walked away. He didn't say sorry. He didn't even look at me. That night, I sat on the floor of the kitchen. I didn't cry. I just sat there thinking. I thought about my life. I thought about my dreams. I used to smile more. I used to feel happy. Now I felt like I was disappearing. The next morning, I opened the window. The sun was shining. The birds were singing, but I still felt heavy inside. I made tea and sat by the table. I asked myself, is this the life I want forever? I knew the answer. No, I wanted something else. I wanted to feel strong again. I wanted to feel free. That day, I went online. I searched jobs in other countries. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I just knew I had to leave. I saw many jobs that needed a college degree. I didn't have one. Then I saw something different. A family in Italy needed someone to help with housework and meals. They said, "We want someone kind and patient." I thought, I can do that. I sent them a message. I wrote, "My name is Lena. I am 29 years old. I can cook and clean. I want to help. I want to start a new life." I felt nervous, but also a little hope. 2 days later, I got a reply. A woman named Rosa wrote back. She said, "You sound perfect. Can we talk tomorrow?" I said, "Yes, we talked on video." Rosa was kind. She smiled a lot. She told me about her mother. Her name was Maria. She was old and needed help during the day. Rosa said, "You will have your own room. We will give you food and some money." I listened. I said, "Yes, I would like to come." After the call, I sat in my bed for a long time. I was scared. I had never been on a plane. I had never left my country. But deep inside, I knew this was right. That night, I couldn't sleep. I walked around the house. Eric was asleep in our bed. I looked at him and felt nothing. I didn't feel love. I didn't feel anger. I felt like a stranger in my own life. I made a plan. I packed my clothes in one suitcase. I put in a photo of my parents. I left my wedding ring on the table. I wrote a note for Eric. It said, "I'm leaving. I need something better. Don't try to find me." The next morning I left the house. Eric was still asleep. I didn't say goodbye. I walked to the bus stop. My hands were shaking, but my heart felt calm. At the airport, I saw many people. Some were happy. Some looked tired. I sat near a window and waited for my flight. I looked outside. The sky was blue. The clouds moved slowly. I closed my eyes. I thought I am going somewhere new. The flight was long. I couldn't sleep. I thought about everything. I thought about the girl I used to be. I hoped I could find her again. When the plane landed, Rosa was waiting for me. She held a sign with my name. She smiled and gave me a hug. "Welcome, Lena," she said. We drove to a small house. It was white with green windows. There were flowers in the garden. Inside, everything was clean and simple. Maria was sitting on a soft chair. She looked at me and smiled. "You are very kind," she said. "Thank you for coming." That night, I had dinner with them. We ate bread, soup, and cheese. The room was quiet but warm. I looked around. I felt safe. Later, I went to my room. The bed was soft. The window was open. I could hear the sea. I looked at the stars. I whispered, "This is the beginning." I didn't know what the future would bring, but for the first time in many years I felt free. I made a choice. I walked away from pain. I was not weak. I was strong. I left everything to start again. Before I share the rest of my story, I need to know, where are you listening from? Knowing someone hears me, understands me, gives me strength. The first week in Italy felt like a dream. The days were quiet. The air smelled like flowers and warm bread. I helped Maria with small things. I made tea, cleaned the table, and walked with her in the garden. She liked to sit in the sun and tell stories. I listened even when I did not understand every word. Maria spoke slowly. She taught me some Italian words. I smiled when I said them wrong, and she laughed with me. Rosa came on weekends. She brought food, books, and flowers. She thanked me again and again. "You helped my mother." "I am very grateful," she said. I told her I was happy to help. At night, I sat by the window. I watched the stars and listened to the sea. Sometimes I missed my parents. I missed my old bed and my mother's soup, but I did not miss Eric, not even once. Maria's house was small but full of peace. There was no shouting, no angry looks, no silence full of pain. For the first time in years, I felt calm. I could breathe. One morning, Maria said, "You have kind eyes, Lina. You have a soft heart." Her words made me smile. She made me feel like I was part of something again, like I mattered. I began to wake up early. I made coffee. I watered the plants. I read books for children to learn English. Slowly, I felt stronger. My body felt lighter. My heart felt open again. One day, Rosa gave me a day off. "Go and see the town," she said. "You work hard. You need rest, too." I took a bus to the town center. It was small, with narrow streets and stone houses. People walked slowly. They smiled at me. I walked past shops, cafes, and a small church. I sat in a cafe near the square. I ordered a tea. The waiter smiled and asked, "Are you new here?" I nodded and said, "Yes, from another country." He said, "Welcome. My name is Paulo." He had kind eyes and a friendly smile. We talked a little. I told him I was working for Rosa and Maria. He said that family is very kind. I went back to the house feeling happy. It was only a small talk, but it felt nice. It reminded me I was not alone. Weeks passed. The days got warmer. Maria's health was stable. She liked to sit and knit. I sat with her and read my books. Sometimes she sang songs from her childhood. I closed my eyes and listened. One evening, Rosa asked me, "Do you want to study something while you are here?" I was surprised. I had not thought about school. "Maybe," I said, "but I don't have money." Rosa smiled. "There is a free school in town. It is for people like you. You can learn Italian. You can learn new things." I was nervous, but I said yes. Rosa helped me register. The school started in 1 week. The first day of school was hard. I didn't know anyone. I was shy. I sat in the back, but the teacher was kind. She spoke slowly. She smiled often. There were students from many countries. Some were from Africa. Some were from Asia. Some were from other parts of Europe. We all wanted the same thing, a better life. In class, we learned simple Italian words. We listened and repeated. We practiced speaking. I made mistakes, but I didn't feel bad. Everyone made mistakes. We helped each other. After class, I walked with a woman named Amina. She was from Morocco. She had 2 children. She said, I left my husband too. He was not good to me. I told her my story. She held my hand and said, You are brave. I started to enjoy school. I looked forward to each class. I learned how to speak at the market. I learned how to ask for help. I learned how to talk about my feelings. At home, I helped Maria and studied in the evening. Rosa brought me more books. She smiled when I spoke small sentences in Italian. You are learning fast, she said. One weekend, Rosa took us to the beach. Maria sat under an umbrella. I walked near the water. The sea was blue and wide. I took off my shoes and walked in the waves. I closed my eyes. I felt the sun on my face. I felt the water on my feet. I felt peace. Rosa took a photo of me. Later, she showed me. You look happy, she said. I looked at the photo and smiled. Yes, I think I am. That night, I wrote in my notebook. I wrote, This is my new life. It is quiet, it is simple, but it is mine. I am not the same Lina as before. I am stronger now. A few days later, I went to the market alone. I bought tomatoes, bread, and cheese. I spoke in Italian. The man at the shop said, Your Italian is good. I felt proud. On the way home, I saw Paolo again. He waved. Lena, right? I nodded. We talked for a few minutes. He said, Maybe we can have coffee sometime. I smiled. Maybe, I said. Back at home, Maria saw the smile on my face. Who is he? She asked with a laugh. I told her about Paolo. She touched my hand and said, You can like someone again. That is okay. I didn't know how I felt, but I knew she was right. I had been hurt before, but my heart was still open. Not for Eric, not for the past, but maybe for something new. Weeks turned into months. The trees changed color. The air became cool. I wore a sweater and made hot tea. Maria's health was good. She told me, Stend.